It's time for a little bit of science. Sadly, though, it's only one of us. It's just me, Rod Lambert's the 30-year SciComm veteran with the mind of a teenage boy. Will Grant is somewhere else. I think he's in the Amazon hunting snakes, but he could be in Antarctica trying to see if you can actually build a whole city out of snow. It's not clear to me. He just disappeared and said, I can't be here this week. So instead, what we've done is I've rummaged through the archives. I've come up with 4 segments that I really quite like. We're revisiting boring people, the experience machine, why venting makes you angrier, and Havana Syndrome. If you've heard these before, I hope you look forward to hearing them again. It'll be like having a hug from an old friend. If you haven't heard them before, welcome to the show. First up, the experience machine. Have you heard of this?
No, I've got. Do you want me to guess what the experience machine is?
If you want to, sure.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit like Dune. You know, where he's got to put his hand in the box, and it's like, what's in there? And she says, pain, and he's like, pain. Oh, okay, yeah. She does it in the voice, but I feel like the experience machine is like you go to a fun fair or something like that, and you got to put a body part in the box, and it's like, what do you get? It's like, well, you get an experience.
Look, it could be any machine, though. Really, any machine could be an experience.
I feel like it's like a truck stop toilet. You know, where there's a hole in the wall, and you put an experience machine, and you put something through the hole,
and you have an experience. Look, this actually could be all of those and everything else you can imagine. Because basically, there's a philosopher guy called Robert Nozick or Nozick. So he wrote a book, 74, Anarchy, State and Utopia. And he did a thought experiment that wanted to challenge hedonism, particularly extreme hedonism. Now, I'm a big fan of hedonism. You probably didn't know that about me. No one who knows me would have guessed that. But it is only my surrounding loved ones, etc., who keep me from turning into an insane and inveterate hedonist, because
hedonist
I like
being
pleasure.
Like the pleasure seeker.
Love pleasure. I just love pleasure. And the pure hedonism is, pleasure is the only thing that matters. So the deep philosophers of which I am not whom.
Are there deep philosophers who subscribe to hedonism? I mean, I don't think they covered that in The Good Place, and said, okay, now we should just go pure pleasure.
That's the epilogue movie after The Good Place. They're going to go, by the way. No, you've always got that. What is that moral philosophy guy? Moral philosophy does come up in this. So the setup here, here's the setup for the experience machine. So you've got to imagine a super advanced machine that can simulate any experience.
Okay.
Any experience. You get to pre-program basically that experience or your entire life. So it could be anything. It could be fame. It could be success. It could be space travel. It could be being able to play table tennis like, Jan Ove Waldner, for example.
Sure.
He's very good at it.
That guy. This is so you like in the Star Trek, the
holodeck suite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, if you go full bore, the comparisons to the Matrix come up a lot. Because apparently in this machine, you won't necessarily know it's a simulation. Once you're plugged in, it'll feel real.
Oh.
So you'll be floating in a tank, electrodes in your brain. You'll be like in a living dream. Your body will be sustained somehow, et cetera, et cetera. So imagine this exists, and this is well pre-Matrix. The question is, and these philosophers put it to you, is would you plug into this machine? And the implication be, and stay there. But would you plug in first up? Would you?
I feel like yes. I feel like there's a bunch of things where you say, well, I'd like to do that, but it costs too much money, or it'd be, I would like to eat the world's biggest hamburger. I don't know, or I'm sure there's things.
Is that your imagination is free to roam and you go big hamburger?
No, not really. But, I just didn't want to say the things I was really thinking.
Oh, you meant a big hot dog?
Yeah, big.
But look, the implication is very much like if you plug in, you stay there. So would you be prepared to fully commit?
You plug in, you stay there. I was just going for a Friday night experience, but.
Well, look, I think it's still the challenge still comes in, but it's more like if you really were you prepared to commit, because you basically say the challenge in this position is it's challenging the position rather that the best life is one with the most happiness or pleasure. It's sometimes called pure pleasure theory.
No, see,
I don't
want to. I don't want to go into the pure pleasure machine because I'm a reality junkie, man.
You like life.
Yeah, and I got to earn the pleasures. Like I feel like, yeah, you can cheat on a Friday night and say, all right, I'm maxing some pleasures out by going into the experience machine, but you have too much. They don't count anymore. They're boring.
Well, this is what he said. He reckons most people would say no because it proves pleasure isn't the only thing we value, but also that, yeah, like you said, you kind of got to earn it.
Yeah.
That's his theory. That's what he reckons. And there are arguments, though, for people who would. So, I mean, one argument for yes is you can literally curate what seems like an eternally fulfilling or at least pleasurable life. No suffering, heartbreak, boredom, no awkward job interviews, no letdowns, perfect, consistent, awesome things you want. That in itself, if you don't think too deeply about it, sounds great. But, I mean, your objections come into play quickly. You don't need to earn your skills. You can say, I want to play guitar as if, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen had a child and I want to play like that person.
Or be that
All
person.
that stuff comes up. Oh, yeah, be that. You're right. Be that person. Be the bastard child of those two men. You know, you could organise all the photos on your iPhone into meaningful categories in like 3 seconds. Because, you know, we're all going to do that. We're all going to organise our photos one day so that we can actually search them and make sense of them.
That's your pleasure-seeking experience.
Oh, I might need to push pause. Another argument is, your brain already lives in a simulation, man, because we're basically a lump of juice and it only gets what we interpret via our senses and nerves and da-da-da-da-da. So this is just a more efficient version of that.
But, I mean, this is still free riding, though. Like, we're going into this tank and the tank has to, you know, this magic experience machine has to cost energy on the system outside. So you can't stay in there without doing some work to earn that.
Or not everyone could be in there. Someone would have to be outside cleaning out your poo-poo wee-wees from the
or whatever,
amniotic
or
fluids.
stoking the nuclear power plant or something like that.
Exactly.
That
shoveling
keeps the machine
uranium.
going.
Shoveling uranium with the other blue-collar workers. So that's a bit of a challenge. He reckons his biggest argument for people who don't want to do it is, or wouldn't plug in, is because people actually want to do things, not just feel or seem like they've done them. Like there's value in the struggle and the effort, etc.
Totally.
Yeah. And we and one of the quotes is, we want to be, not just feel what we are. We want to actually, you know, you don't want to simulate climbing to the top of Everest. You want to kind of go, I've done it. And by you, I mean definitely not me.
Did you click on to going into the experience machine for forever?
Would I click on it? No, I don't think I would. I wish I could. But I too would have this authenticity issue. It'd be like, eventually, and I mean, they call this out in The Matrix when a previous version, Mr. Anderson, we made it where everything was perfect, but in the end everyone went crazy and started eating each other because it was too perfect. So The Matrix, I was going to say beat us, but no, it didn't. It came years after this proposition.
Or I think the flaw in that is, I don't think even an all-powerful simulation robot making a Matrix could make things perfect. In the sense that, yes, it could say, okay, everyone has all the food they want, all the leisure they want, they have the perfect body or something like that. But there would always be some goods that can't be shared. You know, who has the best view, who has the most status at the party, those kinds of things. And there will always be competition over them. I don't think a machine can solve that problem. When you live in a society, there's some stuff you can't share perfectly. So
that's true, right? You walk into a party and everyone's the hottest and the coolest and the most interesting, etc. That makes no sense.
It doesn't work.
How does your brain do that?
Yeah.
I don't know how your brain does that. Good point. So 2016, US officials, for those of you who haven't heard of this, in Havana, which is in Cuba, they started to experience a bunch of...
You've got to say Cuba so people can actually hear.
That is Cuba. So a bunch of people there, quite a few, started to experience these bizarre symptoms. So they got like disabling cognitive malfunctions, they got balance issues, they got dizzy, insomnia, headaches. It wasn't great. They didn't feel good.
Okay.
And this apparently lasted for quite some time.
Were those people any particular people?
They were US officials.
Okay.
We don't need to say more. They were just US officials. They were officials. They were officially there on behalf of US business.
In Havana?
In Havana.
Yeah, okay.
In Cuba. As I say, for some of them it lasted quite a long time. And very quickly, of course, this situation or what they experienced was called or named informally Havana Syndrome. But it formally became known, because you've got to make everything fucking boring if you're reporting on it, as anomalous health incidents, AHIs.
No, no one calls it that.
Well, it's just like UFOs. They're not UAPs or whatever they're called.
No, but I get the problem with saying Havana Syndrome is they might all be different things. You know, Gary's got the poop and Michelle's got wobbly eyes.
Poop. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, Michelle and her wobbly eyes.
It's like
Gary's got the poop. That's a T-shirt.
But it's like you can't go and say Michelle's wobbly eyes and Gary's. You can't say that's a syndrome altogether.
No, it's all Havana Syndrome. No, it's anomalous health incidents. So since 2016, when it first got recorded, apparently hundreds more US, and I love the quote is personnel, so officials and stuff, have reported cases of this from around the world. And the example in this one report, all the references are in the show notes, but more official reports around the world is places like China, Eastern Europe, and, quote, elsewhere. An example or two. So in India in 2021, a top aide to the current director at the time of the CIA reported all the classic syndromes of cognitive disabilities, insomnia, headaches, discombobulations. A retired Air Force lieutenant colonel said he was, quote, hit 5 times in his home in 2020. This was in Northern Virginia. And he adds that a Russian family lived across the street. It was only last year. No, not racist, just observant.
It smells very much like a thing a racist would say. Like,
Russia isn't a race,
I'm feeling sick, and there were some people from a different country living across the street.
They spoke like borscht. They probably missed me.
Yeah.
But it was only apparently just last year. So a few years later, a doctor said his symptoms were the same as those reported in Havana 10 years earlier. And a lot of cases basically associated with a perceived localized sound, but not all. But a bunch of them reckon they heard something. So official investigations, they pointed up all kinds of theories on why it happens. So things like directed energy weapons.
Yes.
Psychological dysfunctions.
Yes.
Social
Why don't
causes.
we combine them?
Well, why don't we?
I think it's all of them.
I think we should.
Yeah.
We need one unit. Also potential toxic chemicals, environmental bits. But no specific cause has been established, and there's no clear consensus on what it is.
Yep.
And Havana Syndrome, as such, is not recognised by the medical community. So since 2016, the intelligence community in the Americans and the Defence Department, defence with an S because American
War Department.
That's true, the War Department. They've tried to find out if the officials were victims of a directed energy attack by a foreign government. And this is apparently almost more important to them than whether there's a thing that does it. It's like, is it evil foreign governments doing it? Can people, nasty people who are against us...
if a guy on the street in Havana had a directed energy weapon...
That'd be a problem.
Yeah, but not so worrying. Like if...
I think it'd be very worrying. Like, he's just walking around zatching people.
A malicious teenager has invented a directed energy weapon.
With a fat cigar, because it's Cuba.
A teenager?
Yeah, laws are different there. There's concerns about there's a bunch of a constellation of things. Is it one thing? Could it be caused by machines of some description or devices? And especially, do evil foreigners, have these devices?
Are there Russians across the street?
Exactly, in Virginia. So flashing forward 2022, interim report from a CIA assessment said a foreign country was probably not behind Havana Syndrome. So CIA 2022, probably not. A few weeks later, quote, major panel of government and non-government experts produced a report commissioned by the Director of National Intelligence and the Deputy Director of the CIA, and that report said, pulsed electromagnetic energy, particularly in the radio frequency range, plausibly explains the core characteristics of reported AHIs.
Really?
Although it acknowledged there are many unknowns. So a few weeks later, almost the same kinds of people said, actually, it's possible.
Well, no, there's two different things there. One foreign government and one is pulsed energy weapons.
Yeah, but they kind of confound a little.
Oh, I get it. It's weird, again, to have the teenager out there with
can it happen at all, and also if it can, do others have it?
Yeah.
And they're already within a month or two, they're fighting.
Classic, Defence Department is we're more worried about other people's capability than knowing what it is. That's the key thing.
But then the intelligence community come in going, we kind of want to know what it is too, and none of it says because we want it, but of course they do. So this is the first time apparently a report was issued publicly by the US government acknowledging the symptoms could be caused by man-made or external events.
Okay.
That was 2022. But again, it acknowledges information gaps exist. So that's 2022. Now, early 2023, the full intelligence community puts out a report, and the unclassified version says this: there is no credible evidence that a foreign adversary has a weapon or a device that causes AHIs, anomalous health incidents, Havana Syndrome. They cited secret intelligence data and open source information about foreign weapons and research programs. So no evidence.
Yeah, no evidence.
Calm down, fellas.
Absence of evidence don't mean evidence of absence, man.
Whoa. That's something to do with unicorns. Yeah. That was 23. Now this year, the Washington Post puts out a report. A Norwegian government scientist has been secretly working on a pulse energy weapon.
No.
An approximation of the fabled, quote, Havana Syndrome gun, which may or may not even exist. The weapon was described as a device capable of emitting powerful pulses of microwave energy.
Just to pause for a sec, is this Norwegian scientist like back engineering this, or is he like he's been doing this for 30 years?
Ooh, that will come out.
Right.
The report says in 2024, so the report came out, the Washington Post report is this year, but talking about something happening in 2024, the, quote, unnamed scientist was skeptical that such a device could do what was claimed.
Okay.
So your pulse weapon that makes people freak out, get confused, have headaches, get dizzy, blah, 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 blah. And in fact, he apparently had a really strong reputation as being a, quote, leading opponent of the theory that directed energy weapons can cause the type of symptoms associated with AHIs. He's like, this is a load of horse shit. There's no way in hell, but with Norwegian language.
What the hell is a directed energy weapon?
It's kind of like you can point your little dish beam thing at an individual or a small group.
It sends like microwaves.
Yeah, it does the whoop, 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 whoop.
But in microwave form.
Absolutely.
Or what? What is the energy?
It's powered by energies. Microwave does seem to come into it a lot, but I think microwave, in fact, is a little bit of a catch-all as well. That's my suspicion. So anyway, this guy, unnamed scientist, serious.
I mean, I've just got to say.
Yeah, you should.
In physics sense, a normal rifle is a directed energy weapon because we're
true.
pushing kinetic energy.
Well, this is no physical projectile,
direction.
so we're just talking the waves, there's no physical object being passed on.
Yeah, so also is loud sound.
Yeah, and that could be a directed energy
Or
weapon.
a laser.
Oh, you mean laser?
Yeah, that's directed energy.
So this is more like your microwaves and stuff. A thing that goes whoop, 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 and then stuff happens.
Does it have to go whoop, whoop, whoop?
It absolutely does, otherwise it won't work. So he thinks, well, how am I going to find out if it works? I'll test it on me.
Of course. Adding to our ream of great scientists testing things on themselves.
That's what you do. Like, I've got no idea. I'll just give it a crack.
Ah, what a history.
I know. A noble and long history.
Indeed, a noble history.
Mm-hmm. So how'd it go? He wanted to prove it was harmless.
Where did he shoot himself?
In the head.
In the head. In the head. I'm shooting myself in the buttocks.
Yeah, but the idea is to fuck with your brain, so he aimed at the brain.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, your buttocks, it's not the brown note gun.
I just want it. What if it works really well?
I wish it did, because seriously, I was trolling all the different reports for symptoms. Like, none of them said shit yourself, which is extremely disappointing.
I mean, look, who wouldn't have a go of that? But
me, I don't need to shit myself, not without meaning
for science. But
shit yourself for science.
I'm just saying.
That's the next Science Week. Here's a booth. Here's a booth.
National Science Week did ask us to come in, so
but never shit yourself for science.
Here, we get the Havana Syndrome directed energy weapon, and
this is the second T-shirt this episode has yielded. Shit yourself for science.
But I just think, why shoot it straight at your brain?
Because it's what it's for. Brain scrambles.
That's so dumb.
So he did. So apparently 4 people with knowledge of the event spoke to the Washington Post and said, oh, shit, yeah, it worked. There are many reports, but the summary is scrambled the man's brains, brought on a host of neurological symptoms associated with Havana Syndrome.
Oh, my God.
Like he fucked himself up. Bang.
Oh, look, you know, we have said before, in many ways, scientists can be the world's smartest dumb people.
They are. And God bless them all. And thank you, unnamed Norwegian scientists, for doing this.
I'm sorry to laugh at me. I don't know.
It's hilarious. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it's not misfortune. It
No.
is not misfortune
No.
if you point a directed energy weapon at your own brain.
And if you're the kind of guy who goes,
oh, wow.
there's no way this works. It's a load of bullshit. Let me prove it. Gone.
You could have literally shot yourself for science and it would have been safer.
Yeah. So he fried his brain. I don't think permanently, but he fucked himself up. And one of the 4 people who, had knowledge of the event and spoke to Washington Post said, quote, I don't know what possessed him to go and do this. He was a bit of an eccentric.
No.
So this incident, this whole, let's call it an experiment just for fun, probably inspired at least 2 trips to Norway by CIA and US State Department people.
Who doesn't want to go to Norway, though?
That's true. But they're also like official business.
Yeah, sure.
Flash the badge, the badge.
I hope he's like in somewhere way up in the Fjordland and there's trolls.
Exactly. And everything's made out of wood and it's 1,000 years old.
It's like all wood. So much wood and granite.
Yeah. And you got to eat your way through the front door. It's the only way to stay warm when you're inside. You need enough fuel inside you. So, apparently this might have been connected to news that dropped also in 2024. The Department of Homeland Security had an operation to buy, quote, a pulsed radio weapon for 8 figures. So they spent some money. So all this seems to interweave. They went to find out what happened with this Norwegian device. They're not saying they bought it from the Norwegians, just that they also, at a similar time, did a little operation to buy a device that maybe does this stuff. So the Washington Post government sources, they note that a successful production of a weapon in the US allied Norway does nothing to prove that foreign adversaries are conspiring to use direct energy devices out in the open. So just because an ally may have built one, doesn't mean foreign people are coming and attacking us, the US, with one.
Yeah, sure.
So don't worry.
Sure.
Stay calm. Oh, yeah, but the Norwegian machine was not identical to the one the US actually ended up buying. Mm-hmm. And in fact, it was, quote, built on classified information suggesting it was probably derived from blueprints or other materials stolen from foreign governments. So they fucking nicked it from someone else.
What?
Built the device.
No.
And he shoots himself in the brain. So the US are like,
Did you see after the Trump kidnapped the Maduro, the president of Venezuela?
the discombobulator?
The discombobulator. Is this the discombobulator?
Allegedly, the discombobulator only works on your electronic devices.
Oh.
Not the brain.
I've got to admire the man's ability. It's not
to actually pronounce that word at least once?
No, discombobulated is a great word.
No, for him to say it more than all.
No, that fits in his mouth. I can see the shape of his mouth.
No,
his mouth is designed to say discombobulate.
So he's made out of discombobulation.
I don't know. But he stuck to the moment there when he's like, so what does the discombobulator do?
I'm not allowed to tell you.
No, he says it discombobulates.
Yeah. Other than that, I can't give you any more information. That would be national security.
That's so good.
Yeah. So they're now saying that the Norwegians probably, let's say, acquired the plans to build the device that the scientist shot himself with from elsewhere.
The Norwegians.
That was in 2024. So January 2025, which is at the end of Biden's tenure, 2 spy agencies in the US updated their earlier conclusions about this machine, or these kinds of machines, and said some of the incidences involving AHIs could be the work of foreign adversaries.
Okay.
So they're flipping-flopping.
Yeah. I don't know.
But then some who are aware of the Norway test says it doesn't prove these devices or these syndromes are the work of foreign adversaries wielding secret weapons similar to the Norwegians. And one of them said, look, the Norwegian one, it's not exactly the same as classic AHI or Havana Syndrome, so don't worry about it. It's got to be something else. This way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. So to round it off, a retired military surgeon, Air Force general, and he oversaw biological threats on the White House National Security Council under Biden.
Okay.
He says, I think there's compelling evidence that we should be concerned about the ability to build a directed energy weapon that can cause a variety of risks to humans, but he declines to comment on the Norway experiment, so that's still controversial. So in summary, here's what the official position seems to be. We believe victims aren't feeling good, but we won't confirm or deny Havana Syndrome. Yes, it's possible external factors cause these symptoms like those in the AHIs, but we don't know for sure whether those external factors are or what they are and who did them, and we don't want people freaking out and thinking foreign agents can do this, although maybe they can, but not for sure, and please ignore the fact that we bought a machine from somewhere else. I think that's the best summary I can give you.
Okay.
So Havana Syndrome may or may not be Norwegian, it may or may not be anything, maybe a machine can do it, maybe it can't, and it could be owned by foreign actors, but it might not, but it probably is, but maybe it isn't.
Thank you for the clarity.
I'm here to help.
I love a vent. I love a rant. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You're not when it's other people.
Well, no. So I occasionally get people to rant for a teaching exercise. Think of something that makes you angry. And some people...
Do they always choose you?
I hope they do.
This fucking class!
I hope they do. No, I don't hope that. No, but I'm like... What makes me angry? And it's like, the person that swims in the wrong lane at the swimming pool. So,
whoa, serious fury.
I think you are more advanced in your.
I can get angry about so much stuff.
Oh, I'm glad.
So much stuff. I have a gift. It's one of many, and I could share it with the world, but not today. Yeah, I love it too. I love ranting. For me, ranting, blowing off steam, etc., feels so good. It's like that classic line. It's like a sneeze, only better. It's just. You don't know that line?
I thought that line was about something else.
It can be both.
Like a sneeze only. I mean, what could that possibly be?
If you could sneeze as we do from lower down the body.
Oh, there you go.
Boys do that. So science is here to ruin that. 2024, a meta-analysis, a review by a bunch of people at Ohio State University.
So they needed to do a meta-analysis on this?
Oh, yeah.
Like
it's a big bastard, too.
This is like we're commissioning a big study. We need to know, finally, for all time, does venting actually help?
Yeah. Good on him. I mean, who can blame them? I mean, look, the top level story is not only is there little evidence that venting helps, but in some cases it probably increases your anger. Does that, see, can you feel your rage rising?
Well, okay.
Disappointed?
You're dwelling in it. This is the problem. You go, you've really fucked me off, and now I'm going to rant about it. And that's like...
That's not wrong. You're not wrong.
I think the Buddha says maybe do something different. What'll...
Jesus said, show me your butt cheek, and the Buddha said, eat 1 grain of rice.
Yeah, and I don't think either of them said rant about it.
No, and then pat a lizard.
Come to a little bit of science for your religious education.
Yeah. Scholastic knowledge of the epistles as written by the apostles. Did they write? I don't know.
The epistles of the apostles, yes. Yeah. That's what they did.
So, yeah, they found that in some cases, your venting, your raging, etc., could increase anger, make you worse. So as senior author and communications scientist, this is a great name, Brad Bushman, he said, venting anger might sound like a good idea, but there's not a shred of scientific evidence to support the catharsis theory. Not a shred. How can you be against catharsis? Like, come on.
But you're not getting catharsis. That's the point.
Well, yeah, or the method via which you allegedly get to catharsism.
Yeah. So he's doing a meta-analysis. This is all sorts of studies where people have already studied this.
Yeah. But they've not banged all the data together and looked at it on a different angle. So the first author is a person called Sophie Kjærvik. She says, I want to debunk the whole theory of expressing anger as a way of coping with it.
I want to?
I know.
Oh, there you go. It's
a little preloaded.
Yeah, it is a bit.
We wanted to show, now it's gone to we, that reducing arousal and actually, more to the point, the physiological aspects of arousal is really important.
This is brought to you by Big Chill Out.
Isn't it Big Chill?
Big Chill is...
Not the movie, we don't want to get sued.
No, but they're saying calm down, not like...
But physiologically. So, I mean, this comes up, but the idea that people have not really focused a lot on the physiological. They focus a lot more on cognitive sides of anger.
Oh, okay.
So the meta-analysis, 154 studies on anger, all congealed. Over 10,000 participants all up. Mm-hmm. Ranges of ages, range of genders, range of cultures, ranges of your ethnicities. And apparently a lot of previous research focuses, as I said, more on cognitive rather than the physiological aspects of anger. So their analysis focuses on, they say, both arousal increasing and arousal reducing activities. Now, for those of you who are like me and listening with a teenage boy brain, they don't mean arousal as in turgidity in the areas of the pants. They mean physiological, getting psyched up or psyched down physiologically. So things like this, running and boxing, physical arousal goes up.
Yeah, okay.
Yoga and meditation, arousal goes down. That's the bottom line.
Depends how you do yoga, man.
Yeah, there's generalising. We'll get into details of yoga, obviously. There's about minute 48. I'm going to read all the data tables to you.
Jesus Christ.
No, you're going to love it. This is very interesting data. So the findings say the key to curbing anger is to engage in activities that decrease your arousal levels. So the bottom line was, rather than trying to vent anger, try to undermine it by turning down the heat. I know. Calming tactics.
But doesn't this go against... I mean, there's been a bunch of studies that have shown that, you hit your thumb with a hammer.
Yeah.
That swearing and venting then can reduce the pain.
Pain, yeah.
So there,
But anger doesn't... there's no pain in anger. It's completely different. So venting likely increases your arousal, and that's therefore bad. You want to take away anger's physiological fuel. Now, this reminds me, I've got to say, when I was reading this, I was like, this reminds me of a thing. When I was a kid, we were told, if you get a sunburn, the trick is, after you've had the sunburn, get in the shower and turn it up to as hot as you can possibly stand.
I'm sorry.
To take the sting out.
But 70s folk science on sunburn was not good. No one is... Like, everyone in the 70s in Australia died of skin cancer.
We did.
You're all dead of skin cancer.
No, 4th degree burns.
Takes the skin out. Jesus.
Takes the sting. So we'd get in the shower and we'd slowly turn it up and up and up and up as you come. And you'd get out of the shower and go, I don't hurt as much, which is probably because you've just murdered all your nerve endings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it sounds like a similar thing. So I started thinking this venting your anger might be some version of that. You're actually putting more heat into your anger rather than taking it out. I'm starting to wonder if the sunburn thing is true now too.
You still do it?
It just struck me. I don't get sunburn now. I'm not an idiot. I can't feel it if I do. So back to Bushman. Bushman, he says, certain physical activities that increase arousal may be good for your heart, but they're definitely not the best way to reduce your anger.
So going for a run, good for your heart, doesn't...
Do you know what? They actually said one of the most arousal-boosting activities that does not reduce anger, particularly, is jogging. Yeah. Jogging's particularly bad.
I confess there have been moments where I'm like, I'm going to go for a run, and I get to the end of the run, I'm like, now I've proved it. Now
I want to kill more people. Now, not only my family's dead, but those fuckers across the road as well. Jogging would make me angry too because I hate jogging. Every time I do it, everything hurts. Things that aren't even part of my body start hurting when I try and jog. I can sprint, I can sit, I can row.
You can sprint?
Oh, yeah. Fucking fast.
I need to see this.
Only once, though.
I will pay some money to see this.
How much?
You don't know yet.
How much? Because the knee surgery afterwards.
I can't pay for that.
There's a fight with my wife.
I'll give you at least $40.
My wife and I have a disagreement. She thinks she's positive she's faster than me over the short distance, and I'm like,
Why is this?
There's no way. There's no way you are. I'm
I
fucking
love
fast.
this. Like, guys inherently go, I'm faster than you. I'm faster than
And she
you.
goes, 400 metres. I said, no, I couldn't even walk 400 metres. But if we're talking short distance, I'd totally dapper.
Okay. Listeners, I think at some point we need to crowdfund seeing how fast Rod can run against his wife.
But the crowdfunding must also include
knee surgery.
Knee surgery.
That's the point. We've got to get to knee surgery.
Yeah, we've got to get to knee. And damn good knee surgery.
100 metres. 100 metres.
Fuck no.
The
40,
classic dash.
40.
40. What are you talking about?
I'm old.
All right. And you two can establish the distance. But
what's even worse is not only will I be in absolute agony, if she wins, then I'm going to be a cripple who's alone.
I am betting so much money that she will win.
No, she's slow. Look at her. Serena Kjavik, the lead author, says it was really interesting to see that progressive muscle relaxation and just straight up relaxation in general probably as effective as mindfulness and meditation. I'm like, well, yeah. Some yoga can be more arousing, as you pointed out. So when you do your hot let's fight with knives yoga, more arousing.
Okay.
Sitting around having a quiet breathe, less arousing. Calming activities reduced anger, whether it was in the lab or in the wild. Doesn't matter on the demographics. So slow flow yoga, mindfulness, progressive muscle relaxation, diaphragmatic breathing, and taking time out.
Okay.
So you imagine that you get furious, get in the corner and count to 10.
Look, okay. So
have you tried counting to 10? That makes me angrier too. I get stuck at 8 because I'm so angry I can't even remember what comes next.
No, I can get through that.
No,
but okay. Give me this then. Then. So science, in its best possible method here, has congealed all the data on all the studies to show that catharsis doesn't happen, that venting doesn't help you.
Yeah.
And I can totally believe it's not reducing your physiological sign of anger, and maybe it's not doing things on the cognitive level. Why do people do it? And why is there such a bias towards it or a reckon? So
it's a good question. Isn't it?
Science wrong here, or is something else going on?
I reckon it could be both, and I think we love metaphors, and taking the heat out kind of makes sense. Like you're building up, you're angry, and that pressure thing, so blowing it out makes sense.
I think it's actually people don't want to be not angry. I think these researchers have got it completely wrong. Yeah. They're thinking venting is a way of getting rid of the anger. Instead, venting is about spreading the anger. And this is
rubbing it all over your body and loving it even more.
Exactly.
I agree.
And
juicy, delicious anger.
To quote Australia, I think this is a Bluey episode, and it's just one of those ones where I know that.
Is this the racist one, or the sexist one, or the drug positive one?
I don't know. I don't know which one this is. I know that you may not be up with Bluey. It's Australia's, but the world's favourite cartoon dog-based show. Anyway, there's a great moment where the dad says to the toddler, one of the toddlers, "Are you sure you don't just want to be angry?" And I think that there are absolutely times, and this is what venting is. It's like, no, anger is a gift. I'm taking pleasure in this.
The right kind of anger is awesome. I become more eloquent and become much more abusive, but in a very
You turn into
way.
some sort of anti-Buddha. You're like...
I do. And I'm like erudite. But there's a curveball. They also say, and then they finish like this, ball sports and other physical activities that involve play can reduce arousal.
Yeah, okay.
So play.
Yeah.
So you can reduce arousal doing this physical exertion if it's fun, which brings to mind a study I talked at you about, I think, quite a long time ago, on the effect of heavy metal music on people. And at first they were saying, you metalheads claim you listen to metal and it relaxes you. That's bullshit. We tested it. We took people who like metal, hate metal, and don't care. And it turns out people who like metal when they listen to it do find it relaxing, and people who don't. I'm shocked.
Thanks, science.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking this is not dissimilar. So if it's fun, whatever fun is,
I think the point
that might be better.
I think these researchers have missed the point. Point of venting is...
Publishing is the point.
Yes, that's true. But the point of venting is not to relax. The point of venting is to do something vastly different.
I love it. I love a vent. I don't care science. Fuck you. I love it anyway. I'm going to keep venting and raging until the day I croak. All right, you've stuck around this long, folks. Are you a boring person? What do we know? So, look, here's a journal I know Will and I read every issue. Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, March 2022. Here's the title. Boring People, Stereotype Characteristics, Interpersonal Attributions and Social Reactions. University of Essex scientists, psychologists, they investigated the most boring people's stereotypes, and they looked at things like this. Beliefs about their interpersonal attributes, so people's beliefs about them, their occupations, their interests, and people's reactions to stereotypically boring people.
Do you want me to guess some things?
I'm going to give you the most boring person in the world at the end of this.
The most boring, but no, that's not fair.
Not a name, not like John Smith.
I thought that was a bit unfair. All right.
Well, John knows.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
So they got 500 people across 5 experiments. They examined stereotypical features of boring people that others tend to think about. So the first two studies 1 and 2 rated these. They focused on occupations of boring people. For example,
I bet they're going to go wrong here.
of course, data analytics,
No.
taxation,
No,
accounting.
no.
They focused on hobbies like sleeping, religion, and watching TV.
These are incorrect stereotypes. Keep going. I'm going to critique this. This is. I'm rubbed the wrong way.
You do seem rubbed.
I'm rubbed the wrong way.
They talked about personal characteristics, which we'll get to in a tick, that people would ascribe to stereotypically boring people.
Yeah.
So things they found. Boring people, they kind of flagged us at the opener. They are seen, or actually do, depending on how you interpret psychological studies that ask people for their opinions, these are seen as people who lack humour and opinions. Boring people lack opinions. And I kind of see that, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
They tend to be negative,
Yes. Yep.
generally disliked,
Yes.
perceived as being low competence, low interpersonal warmth. Boring people are seen as being less emotionally warm with others. Also, I didn't know this, it can, being perceived as boring or actually being boring, it's difficult to say here, may increase your risk of harm, addiction, and mental health issues. So they also, as part of this study, said, okay, the 5 most boring jobs according to these 500 people. Data analysts, I know you don't like that, accounting, tax/insurance, cleaning, and banking.
I totally accept that there is a stereotypical view of these jobs being boring, and perhaps they actually are boring for the people inside. I don't know. I think there is a vast difference between saying that person is boring, because
Yes.
I would step back and go, I have met boring people in my life
Have you?
where no, they stand out. They stand out. Like, listen, I'm going to give you some tips here. 2 tips. If you
start crying the moment they talk.
No. These tips come in advance of these people. If you're ever at a party and the group of conversation gets down to 3, you leave immediately.
Yes.
Leave immediately.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, you never
just
know.
in case.
Yeah,
You're like, sorry, I can't be trapped with whoever that is. I am not doing that.
Unless super hot.
Well, I'll come back to that.
You can be boring and hot.
Look. Yes, there are certainly times when you want to be in that situation. That's fine.
Yep.
But if you are ambivalent about the people in that
the
conversation,
ripcord.
you pull the ripcord. You just
yeah.
go, I have to go and do a poo. Like I've got to get out of here.
And you say that.
So number 2 piece of advice here is, and I thank Triple J's The Sandman for this many years ago. It's stuck in my head for a long time. Always carry a hanky full of coins in your pocket.
Oh.
And so if you are stuck in this situation, what you do is you're like, I need to blow my nose. And you pull out your hanky to blow your nose and the coins go everywhere and you're like, oh shit, I got to go and chase after my coins. And then that allows you to escape the situation. So I'm just, okay.
There are other ways.
There are other ways.
Walk away.
You can walk away.
You're not happy about these jobs being listed as the most boring?
I don't think boring is anything to do with occupation, because I've met boring people in the past who have fascinating jobs.
Yes.
Like awesome jobs where you go, damn, that is a job I would love to do. You are doing something. And from my belief, it was compensatory, because what they're doing is like, I want to get the most interesting job in the world
because I
am fundamentally not interesting. Now, I
fair
absolutely
enough.
feel for these people. And I think, look, I don't want to be an arsehole here. I just recognize
For people Will's almost crying.
I am. No, I think that it has nothing to do with occupation. It's about your interpersonal ability to relate to other people.
Yes. What about hobbies? Are hobbies an indicator of boringness?
No, unless it's possibly choosing interesting hobbies so they've got something to talk about.
So according to this study, when people were asked to list the most boring hobbies, the winners were sleeping.
Okay, fine. That's not a hobby.
Apparently for some it is.
It's not a hobby.
Religion.
Again, not a hobby.
Watching TV.
All right.
I love watching TV.
That is a very lame hobby.
I'm boring. I never called it a hobby though. It's just like, well, if I'm not doing something else, I'm like, observing animals.
Do you mean like bird watching?
It just says observing animals. Look, a ferret.
What all of these are hobbies that don't translate into good conversations.
They don't.
If your hobby is, I don't know, burning down buildings, like that translates.
How the fuck did you know?
Like that's a cool party story. It's like, okay, what I actually do on the weekend, I just find
why are you so tired and your eyebrows singed?
And it's like, wow, I've never said that. I would not be bored in that conversation.
No, you might be a little frightened.
If someone's hobby is sleeping, it's like,
Really? The fifth most boring hobby in the top 5 was mathematics.
It's not a hobby.
No, I don't think so either, but maybe for some it is. The result, though, if you want the overarching one, according to these numbers, the most boring person in the world is a religious data entry worker who likes watching TV and lives in a town.
A town.
A town.
A town.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry. Either screw this study or screw your telling of the study, and it's
No, it's the study.
I suspect that they would, but they have every chance of being a super interesting person.
Yes. Some TV is great and you can talk about it. I just want to tell you one more bit, though.
Flip it around.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell a religious data entry person who lives in our town. Was there another part to it?
And likes watching TV.
And likes watching TV. Okay, so also, like, they're doing data entry for the CIA, and they're religious. You know, that they're a cult leader.
Yeah, exactly. The Zoroastrians or something, like shit you've never heard of.
Zoroastrians.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
the town is Roswell.
there you go.
Yep.
And I don't know, they watch TV upside down. I don't know. Well, they watch the same show as you. Like,
yeah, whatever you like. Yeah. My favourite bit of this study, though, I agree with you. Like, there are some gaps, there are some dents, but they did 5 studies within this overall project. The last 2 I enjoyed. We tested if people were willing to avoid more actively the company of stereotypically boring people. Mm-hmm. So, do people avoid boring people? Which, yes, imagine that.
I do, but they're not the same as those boring people.
Yeah. Well, some may be, but that's coincidence. My favourite, though, is they then asked people how much they would need to be compensated for being asked to hang out in the company of a stereotypically boring person. What would it cost? How much would you need to be paid to hang out with this?
So I'm going to confess. That there.
Oh, you've got a number?
No, I don't have a number. But I am thinking of some of the people who I have been trapped with at parties. And
yeah,
it would be large.
It would be large.
It would be.
We're not talking a 20.
No, it would be like, I want to escape this scenario with. It's the guy who got his arm trapped under the rock, and it's like, well, I am gnawing my arm off because.
And then what? I kept gnawing, and then gnawing. After that, gnawing. What was it like? Horrible. And then the next day, horrible.
It gets easier.
That's been my experience. So they asked these people, imagine you are asked to spend time hanging out with this person. They've got a vignette that describes the person. Below you will find different periods of time you might be asked to spend with them. Indicate for each period of time how much you would need to be paid in order to accept spending this amount of time with this person. Please indicate in US dollars.
Fine. What does it even mean? What does it even mean? Like for a currency that's real,
No, it's for the Slamarians. I mean, fuck, I don't care. So they got to the point, so they got these vignettes of boring, either super boring people, intermediately boring people, mega, or not boring people. And it ran from between 1 and 7 days. And there are...
7 days.
Yeah. And there's not only one, but there's 2 different versions of a graph. One is a log transformation. It doesn't matter. If the egghead's out there, you're welcome. So it turns out, for high boredom people... One day, the average amount was $50.
No.
4 days was 100, and the average amount for 7 days was
I'm sorry,
nearly $250.
4 days worth of work for $100. These people are not measuring their time adequately.
Not well at all. What do you get? 80 cents an hour?
like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything.
To be bored shitless.
For 4 days.
You don't get out of bed for less than $10.
Look, I appreciate there are people in the world who that is an awful lot of money, but I just got to confess, this is 4 days.
You ain't one of them.
This is 4 days worth of work. Like,
look, and it's not clear to me whether they mean 24/7 hanging out with them. You know, you got to introduce them to your family. I don't know, but this is what I love is they actually said put a monetary value on it, and people did and would. So, I mean, the wrap up is, dicking around aside, being boring is actually kind of dangerous and has real life impact because of the way people treat you. So people who are considered to be boring, or else they stereotype you, like, I'm a data analyst, and they go, I don't want to talk to you anymore. It has social implications, it has mental health implications, etc. That's what they're trying to get at here. And so the bottom line summary, these results suggest that being stereotyped as a bore may come with substantially negative interpersonal consequences.
Yeah, stereotypes can get fucked.
They can. Anyway, if you are boring and you're listening to this, you're clearly not boring. Or if you are boring and you're listening to this, just talk about this.
No, we love you.
that was your leftovers, I suppose, or reheated little bit of science for the week. Sorry again that Will was away. I think maybe he's scaling the wrong side of Everest, and that's why he was very hard to get in touch with. But if you like the show, or if you like this revisiting of the show, remember to like, subscribe, share, etc. And if you have any ideas you'd like to send to us, you can still contact us at cheers@alittlebitofscience.com.